All right, this is Deanna Marie, and welcome back here to the Clusie. And today we are going to be talking about the blessings of God. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so we're going to be in Genesis chapter 28. I want you to read Genesis chapter 28, verse 3 and 4. That is a special blessing that will bless you. And also go to Genesis chapter 28, 13 through 15. And that is also the second part of the blessing that God has for you. I'm going to be focusing on Genesis 28, 10 through 13, though, and I'm going to explain that to you guys now, okay? So, here's the deal. Jacob, him and his brother aren't getting along. He gets told that he has to leave, go find a wife in a different land. There's a wife for him somewhere else, so his parents send him off, right? He is going to be carrying the blessings of God from that generational family. He's going to be carrying that. And so he goes to go on his way, and he lays down to sleep to start his journey. And God shows him a vision. And the vision is this giant staircase, and it goes from the ground all the way up into the heavens, right? Stars, space, whatever you want to see. And he can see angels going up and down it. Okay? That's what I want to talk to you guys about, because at the end, if you read the second part of the blessing, God says he will not leave you until he's done what he promised you he's going to do. Okay? And he's not going to leave you after he does it, but he just means like he's not going to forget. He hasn't forgotten the promise. Some of you guys has been waiting a long time, and you're like, man, you think God forgot about you, or you think, man, he's not going to do it. He's going to do it. He said he's going to do it. He's going to do it. If he gave you a promise, you need to hold on to that, because he's going to do it. There's a whole process that goes into it. Now, Jacob gets the promise of, the descendants and, all of this stuff. But this is the very first part of the promise. So you hear the promise of God first to you. And then as soon as you hear it, you hold on to it. And then he's going to take you through a process where you have to grow. You have to mature. You have to be ready for the promise. The marriage, the career, the finances, the health, whatever it is that he's promised you, there's a process that he needs you to go through when you're his child, that he wants you to have, so that you don't slip up, so that you enjoy the blessing, so that you understand what it is you're actually receiving, right? And so the staircase vision shows you that God, sometimes you guys think God's this far off God. He's not. He's not. Just as the enemy has his workers down here doing all the stuff to try to trip and slip people up, God has his angels down here too doing the same thing, fighting for you. And that shows you the vision of them going up and down the staircase shows you that heaven is not as far as you think it is. Your blessing is not as far off as you think it is. There's constant communication. God knows everything that's going on at any given moment. He can do anything that he wants to. But some of you guys forget that, because you think you say a prayer and you get a promise, it doesn't come to pass. So you think that God's this far off God. He's way up in heaven, and he doesn't really deal with the things down here on earth, and your prayers aren't. No prayer is too little for God. I don't care if you're praying for a freaking Einstein bagel or you're praying for a husband or a wife. Nothing is too little or too big for him. And if he's given you a promise, that vision, he wants you to understand that the angels, the people that work for his kingdom, they're already dispatched. They're going back and forth between heaven and earth. Okay? Heaven, God is not far off. He's not a far off God. He is here. He's with you. He sees everything. He knows everything. So don't let the enemy get you confused and think that, oh, he's not here, he doesn't hear me. Oh, he hears you. He hears you all the time, but he wants to make sure that you are gonna not turn away from him when you get it. Whatever it is you're praying for, it could be a husband, spouse, I don't know, money, whatever it is you're praying for. He wants to make sure that when you actually receive it, you're not going to turn away from him. Because that's what happens a lot of the time. A lot of the time, we talked about the different seeds, right? That God, the parable where the seeds were being thrown out. A lot of the times when people get the stuff that they're praying for, they forget about God. I've already told you, it's really easy to stop thinking about God when you got millions of dollars in the bank, your health is good, and you got that spouse that you wanted. But that's the point of the maturity. The maturity keeps you grounded. It lets you know that God isn't far off, that he's here with you always, with the blessing, without the blessing. He's the person that gave it to you. Heaven is not a far off kingdom. It is here too. The enemy wants you to think that God is far away, and he really is not. Okay? So when you get what you receive, and I have a feeling it's going to happen really, really soon, make sure you give him some praise and understand that he is here with you. All right? So anyways, like, share, subscribe, comment as always, and I will see you guys next time.